Hey, everybody, and welcome to this session of Buildings Over Bags. With me today, I have Asia Denson of Denson Construction. Hi, Asia.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? How are you?
I'm
So
doing good.
good. I'm excited because it's not too often that we run into GCs, general contractors that look like us.
Right?
And so I'm kind of hyped because I know that you have a lot of value and a lot of things that, are of great value to everybody that is watching. So for those people that are unfamiliar with your brand and who you are, do you mind just giving like a little bit of background on you and your company?
Yes, I'm a general contractor here in Detroit, Michigan. I'm licensed contractor. I wholesale, I fix and flip, and pretty much that's it.
Wow. So you are like all around real estate, everything.
Yep. Almost set for property management. I refuse.
Yeah, that can be a little stressful. You don't want people calling your phone
Right.
every 5 minutes. I get it. I get it. So how did you get started in all of that?
Well, I started off, let's see, as a kid, my dad my dad was a brick mason, my brother's a brick mason, and my granddad was a big carpenter in the South. So that's kind of how I got started. And then I went to the little free thing they had with fortune builders, like the little free class to get you in the door.
Mhm.
And then I did the 3-day weekend, and that's how I got into wholesaling.
Wow. Somebody else mentioned Fortune Builders as a program. So did you like what you learned there? Like, do you feel like it was a value for you to have invested that?
It was a value to get my interest sparked. The
Okay.
3-day weekend, I made it to the next round, which was like, the 15,000, 40,000, all that. But I didn't do it because at that time, this like 2013, 2014. So the prices in Detroit, I'm like, I can buy 5, 6 houses with that 15 grand.
Right.
So, right. So instead, I brought this program from Phil Filowinski, his wholesaling program, and they give you lifetime access. It was only $1,000. I
Wow.
was broke, so I just put it on a credit card.
Wow. Wow. And did you utilize that? Like it was good for you?
Yeah, that's how I learned how to wholesale was that course, and it took me 7 months to do my first deal, and I made 27 or 2,400, one of them.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I have like the biggest love hate relationship with wholesalers because it's like you love them because they have the deals, and
Right.
you find out how much money they made off of you. Like it hurts your heart. It hurts your heart, and I mean, rightfully so because as wholesalers, you all put out a lot of money in marketing. You put out a lot of money into building your business and the finding and securing the deals.
Hmm.
And not only money but time too.
Right.
So, you should be compensated, but that doesn't mean, it feels good when you see they made 13,000, 15,000, $25,000 off of the deal.
Well,
So,
when you get to 25,000, I would do a double close at that level. Like my thing, I think the biggest wholesale deal I ever did was 15 grand, but I didn't have to double close because the buyer was one of my boys. He fixed and flip, so that was easy.
look, you just talk like it's just like it ain't nothing. It's all good. um, awesome, awesome, awesome. So, what would you say that like? What's your favorite thing to do? Is it wholesaling? Is it doing construction? Is it flipping?
I'm a contractor first. I tell people that all the time because I love construction. Like that's my passion, and then wholesale is second. But that and investing, they all go together. So like for my own rental properties, I just wholesale and find my own rentals.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it kind of it all works together.
Yeah, that's a great benefit for wholesaling because any deals that, are just too good to be true, like you can keep for yourself.
Yep.
Everything else that you're not in love with, just send out that text, send out that email. Hey, I got a good one.
Well, either that or either people like contact me. Like I got one of my biggest buyer. He wants to partner with me. Like he just texted me yesterday. I was like, "Oh, I'll be seeing you this weekend."
Right, right, right. Yeah, you're a good person to know. Anybody that can do like, wear multiple hats,
Right.
those are great partners because you can leverage, you have a lot of leverage in those deals.
That's
So
true.
let's talk about like the numbers. Like how many deals have you done in terms of like wholesales, flips, rental properties? Do you even
Um.
know? I know some people don't know.
I don't know my exact number. Somebody else asked me. I was like, I'm gonna really look one day, and I still forgot to look. But I know I'm over 50 wholesale deals. Flips, I've only done one. I'm looking for another one to do because now it's like homeowner season here in Detroit
Yeah,
because the weather's starting to break. So
right.
like from May to November homeowners will be looking. So I'm looking to flip this year when I do one to a homeowner instead of an investor flip.
Nice, nice. And how long have you been wholesaling?
I started 2013, 2014.
Gotcha.
So about a good 5-6 years or so.
Yeah, I mean, that's like 10 deals a year. That's crazy.
Yeah, like that first year, because I was broke. Oh, we was killing it.
That's when you hustle. That's hustle season.
For real.
Season is hustle season, right? It's just like,
Exactly.
yeah, I got to get this money. So what are some things that you wish you knew when you first got started that that you kind of know now for sure?
People lie. People lie. Like, I mean, people lie in life in general, but everybody not as honest as you are.
Right.
So like, I got a quick story. So my second deal, it was a 10-unit apartment building that I got from like this older couple.
Wow.
And like, I knew it was a deal because everybody was blowing me up. But the wholesaler who got it, who was the buyer, he basically lied and then tried to tie my deal up. So it's a real big group of buyers that reached out to me that I met at a meetup here. And then I just sold my interest to him for $600. And a lot of people like, that was stupid. You should have just sold it to him. I'm like, no, it wasn't stupid because today he kind of like became my mentor. He didn't really realize he was. But like whenever I needed help, I know I could reach out to him. And then like he became another big buyer. So it kind of worked out. Like, yeah, I sold my interest for $600. I still made money. But then he taught me like, okay, AJ, this is how you find a cap rate. This is how you find ROIs. Right. When you do your apartments, this is how you break it down to sell it. So that $600 was a lifetime lesson that I can make money with now.
Right. Wow. So I like how you parlayed that, like instead of dealing with the stress of, okay, well, like, let me figure all of this out and dealing, with all those people, it's just like, look, I'm going to sell you my interest in this. I'm out. But then like from now on, anytime I need a reference or some advice, like I know who to call.
Right. I didn't even ask. He offered it. He was like, because I see you out here really like trying to get it. And he was an older white dude. And he was like, I've been hearing about you. Like, you out here. Like, so it kind of worked out. Like, I could still call. I haven't talked to him about a year. And what's crazy is because of where my mom lives, she lives in like a really big area that they're trying to gentrify right now. So like our house was worth probably over 200,000. I think it got built from the ground for like 68 in like 2000. Wow. So they actually sent the letter. I called them. I was like, yeah, we're not selling.
You sent this to my mama house. We good.
Yep. I was like, you actually sent it to you sent it to an older lady's house who got people around her who care about her. So that's gonna be a no.
That's awesome. That's one of the things I find with like real estate investors. A lot of times it'll like cross racial lines because everybody understands what, that hustle is like, that hustle and bustle of just trying to get a deal done, of analyzing a deal, the stress that comes with it, the mindset. And, it's really a community. Like once you get in it and after you've done a couple of transactions, like you are willing to help people, you're willing to reach back down because you know what it's like. And as big as it kind of looks like with social media and all these other things, like it's still a very small knit. There are not a lot of people out here that are doing the things that we're doing. So that's dope that, he was able to just mentor you and he reached out to you.
Yeah, because like the buyer I'm meeting with, the partner with, he partnered with all the like top wholesalers here. Because I got the text, another big wholesaler I know got the text, and a few others. So like, but they're Middle Eastern, and like I tell people, like Detroit is a 90+% Black city, so they have to come to us because we know that they don't know where to invest, they don't know where to buy, and why not have them come to you?
Right, and they're going to because they want to make this money.
They ain't got no choice because the white folks don't know Detroit like that because they left.
Right. No, a lot of people left Detroit and a lot of people are trying to come back to Detroit.
Yeah, I tell everybody that's Black, like, you go ahead and cross 8 Mile and move to the suburbs. In 5 years, you will not be able to afford to come back.
Right. It's insane.
Yep.
It's insane. So what's been your biggest deal or your biggest win to date?
My biggest deal was a wholesale deal I did 15,000 on last year. That was probably my biggest wholesale deal. Nice. My flip was big. I did about 20-something thousand on that. I bought the house for $5,000. Wow. I borrowed 15 from an Instagram follower. that I had never met. And then when
It
we
goes
met,
down in the DMs.
yeah, because I had put a post up like, hey, who want to let me borrow 15 to 20 grand at 10% interest? And a couple of people hit me up. And I
Wow.
so happened to go with this one guy who moved here from Cali, black guy. And California prices and Detroit prices are completely like
Completely different, right?
out the park. So what he did was he refied his house, got $1 million, and came to Detroit and bought 35 houses.
What?
Yep, and he rehabbing every last one of them himself. He living in one and rehabbing them as he go, and
Smart.
and he Section 8 all his houses.
Yes. That
So
guaranteed money.
yep, so that's who I borrowed my money from. He met me at a closed down Walgreens with 15 grand cash and rubber bands. I know what it sounds like, but we had a written agreement between us. So I was covered. But no, actually he met me with half and then his boy met me with the other half. It sounds all bad.
It does. It sounds like it's a different transaction, but look, like
But
you
it wasn't.
get it done. I love everything about that. I
But
do.
it wasn't. My other biggest win was, okay, I had a client in 2017. He owned about 400 houses in Detroit, and he
Wow.
still had about 200 left to rehab. And that's when they passed the law about the lead thing, because that's when Flint happened. And so now they're making everybody do lead inspections for their houses. So if you own 400 houses, you got to lead certify all of them. Rehab would have cost him $4 or $5 million to do all those houses.
Oh
So,
my
so
God.
he just started unloading everything like fire sale. So he was like, hey, I got a house by you. You might want to look at it. I'm like, where is it? When he told me, I was like, bet that's down the street. He's like, just give me 2,500. I think I was in the middle of some rehab, so I was broke till, I got paid on them contracts.
Yep.
And so he let me do a payment plan. So it was like 500 whenever I got it. I just paid on it. And he deeded it over to me, everything. As soon as
Wow.
I bought that house, it was fire damage. Roof was about to fall in, the whole nine, right? It's a duplex. It got built in 1908. It's like 1,700 square feet per side.
Yeah.
I got offered $75,000 cash in its current condition. And then I got another offer at 56 and then another one like 50 or 58. I turned all of them down. Everybody like, man, you stupid. I was like, no, because
No.
I know what's coming over here. If you're
Right.
about to give me 75 grand for a house that's burnt to a burnt cigarette crisp and
Right.
the roof is almost on the first floor, what are you going to give me when it's rehab? So
Right.
then I started talking to the broker, my broker friend. He like, Asia, keep that house because when you get ready to fix it up or whatever, or sell it once you're done or appraise it, it's going to appraise between 400,000 and 600,000 because it's going to use Indian Village comps, which is a big historical neighborhood here with 5, 6 bedroom houses, 7 bathrooms, library, a house in the back. Like it's going to use those comps because it's within a mile radius. So he's
Wow.
like, just keep it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my biggest win today. Like people still trying to buy that house. I'm like, nope, I'm
Oh,
gonna keep paying my little taxes. I'm gonna
right.
keep the grass cut. I'm gonna keep it boarded up till I get some more money and finish it. And
Right.
y'all gonna get out my face.
Yeah. Like I love that, right? Because a lot of people think that like real estate is, like wham bam, thank you, ma'am, it's quick. Real estate is like slow simmer.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're patient and you recognize that that payday is going to be so much better in a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years and down the line, like that just means that, you know your stuff
Yep.
and that you are really about wealth building. It's not that quick $75,000. Like, and I know that might seem crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I want to take it, yeah, because I was hurting, but I was like, I'm just gonna hold on. And then the property sits. So back in the day, the way they deeded the house is like it sits on a huge lot. So the address is to the lot itself, not the property. So
Mm,
the lot it sits on. I have enough room to put another 2 unit on it.
wow.
So that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rehab it. I'm gonna cash buy. Get them. Let's say they give me 600,000. I'm
Yep.
gonna pay off whoever I borrowed the money from to fix it up, and then I'm gonna drop me a nice prefab, double wide or something on that land, and now I got 4 units. And
Yep.
then whatever's left, I'm gonna go buy me an apartment building.
I love
Yep.
that. I do. I love that. And I think Detroit is still like a great place for people to invest and to
Mm-hmm.
buy and to go to the auctions and do what you need to do because a lot of people, number one, are missing those, are losing their buildings because of those taxes. And
Water bills.
yep. Yep. And then two, a lot of people are just like doing the most when it comes to, being afraid of investing in places like Detroit. They think, okay, well, it's a predominantly Black city. I'm
Mm-hmm.
scared. But like Detroit is not going to be the Detroit of old, like in the next couple of years. Like it's
It's already not. And
yeah,
that's what that's the whole reason why I got on Instagram and social media, YouTube. I wanted people to see Detroit how I saw it. Like, yeah, Detroit is grime and gritty in some area, but what neighborhood, urban city isn't? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want y'all to see Detroit how I see it. And when
yeah,
I do my little private tour, and I did my big tour last year, people was like, wow, I never knew Detroit had all this. Like, Detroit has one of the top resources of water in the nation. You know how many people come here and get our water from the river?
wow,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I love that. Like I do. I love that. I'm excited. I'm gonna be real excited when you like. I mean, even if you decide to keep that house, like long term for another 20
Oh,
years.
that's getting passed down to some kids I ain't even got yet.
There we go. I love it. I do. I love it. And they're gonna be very like. Think about how much better off we would be if we started with like 200,000, 300,000, $600,000
Yep,
in equity, in rental income, and whatever that kind of looks like. That makes me excited. Like I get hype
exactly.
off of that. I don't get hype off of like looking at somebody in some lubes or looking at somebody, like with a Chanel bag. Like that gets me hype because that's money for you.
But see, the way my mind works, when I see people with Chanel and all that, I'd be like, wow, I could have bought something with that.
Yeah, you could have bought. I could have bought two properties with that. I could have bought this.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I
When you
could have did my kitchen.
start all of the above. I love it. I love
Exactly.
So what has been, your worst like deal or your worst mistake to date?
My worst mistake, I only got burnt now twice in the 9 years I've been in business. The
Okay.
first one was on the roof on that same duplex, hired our local cousins and them who lied and said they could do something they couldn't do. So
Yeah.
they'll be getting sued too once I finish repairing what they messed up. And then trying to like partner with people. So this guy, he is a big plumber here, so to speak. Couldn't find out he has no licenses, so he wanted me to come on as a licensed builder on his team to so now he can bid on mechanical HVAC. I mean HVAC plumbing and building
Because
stuff
you need
now.
your license. Yep.
Right. So he got a big $200,000 contract. I was supposed to get 5% of the carpentry profit. I only got $200. First red flag. No, back up. That's a second red flag. The first red flag was as soon as I signed on with him, he had got a lawsuit, and then they tried to come at me. I was like, look, I just became a part of this, so that got me out of that. And
Wow.
then he pulled another he pulled permits. Okay, so I signed off on permits, and he said he only pulled 3. Come to find out, he pulled like 15 or something like that.
Oh, he was pulling all his stuff off of your name.
Right. Because I signed off on him, and he just claimed he didn't go turn them in when he did. So back in September, I found out the truth, and then I had the head of the building department give me a printout of everyone he did,
Wow.
everyone that passed or failed or whatever the status was. And I held on to that information for about 4 months and didn't say nothing. Then I asked him, I was like, hey, how many persons? He's like, hey, y'all only pulled 3. I was like, okay. So then when December come, I just hit him with everything. Like, this isn't working for me. I just don't want to be a part of this because you made allegedly all this money and I've only made $350. And
Wow.
if you didn't have my license or part of your business, you
You
wouldn't have
would
made
not have
anything.
even. Yep.
And I don't operate like that. So he's like, well, you got to give me a 90 days heads up to leave my company. I was like, whatever. You can't force me to go pull nothing else. I already had contacted the board, removed myself and everything like 40 days prior to I even told him.
Oh yes. So yep, your stuff was in order.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Like they try to play you because you're a chick, or I'm like I know on IG like I do get in people butt or whatever, but I am still a nice person overall. And they think because you're a female or you're young that you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy, so of course I can't sense, a whole ass dude.
Yeah.
Like another man can, because all my subs they like we already knew that age, we felt it. But
Right.
I'm the type of person I just sit back and wait.
Right.
And then I just hit you with all these facts, like all the permits that you pulled. Boom, here you go. He's like, well, that's not true. That's not true. I'm like, oh, so the head of the Department
Is
of
lying.
Building Engineers is going to lie? You think he about to lose his job over you? Like, come on.
Right.
So that was my biggest mistake. Would I partner again? Maybe, but I don't know. We have to probably partner together and like go form a company together
Yeah.
instead of me becoming like a part of your thing that you already got established. And then kind of find out he already got a bad rep. Then he played me on this other rehab we doing, so I had to step in and finish. And that's a lot of things. a lot of people hit me up wanting to be a GC, but as a GC, you have to make hard decisions. You
Yes.
have to make calls that you might not want to make. You might have to cut somebody out,
Yeah.
and then you might have to fire somebody, step in, take over, and don't make no money on that job or be in a hole on that job just to protect your name.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Your name, your license, your reputation, all of that.
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened on this one. So I had to step in, and now all of a sudden he's going out of bankruptcy because he hasn't received almost $1 million in receivables. Yeah, okay.
He's doing that
I
because
didn't even respond.
he
Oh,
knows.
he knows what's coming. But when he sent that email, I didn't even respond. I just forwarded it to my attorney, and my attorney's like, "Hey, I know you want to say something. I know you want to pop
Don't
off."
say nothing.
He was like, "Don't say nothing." He was like, "Just finish the job, get all your additional costs together, and then I'm gonna hit him." I was like, "Bet," because in Michigan, when you sue and stuff like that, you can take people's houses. Like after so many years, that you keep putting claiming liens on their houses, or mechanic liens, some people call them. You can foreclose on their property. Like you can take cars, houses.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow. So I love everything that you said. And I know it's a real ugly situation, but there's so many different lessons in that. Number one, with you being, a woman and being the GC and him kind of like needing you. Like, yeah, I would absolutely like leverage the next time for you to like have some ownership in that. Because at the end of the day, like he gets all the benefit from you. Like,
yeah, I only got 5. Like the way it was set up, it was like I got 5% of the net profit of the building carpentry side of the contract. Now, of course, I'm not gonna eat off the plumbing mechanical. They ain't got nothing to do with me, but I'm for sure 5% on $200.
Right. Where's the rest of Asia's money?
Oh, I'm gonna get. I just want what I'm owed. Like I ain't even blocked him out my phone or nothing. But I'm just like my attorney's like nope, because then if he try to call you and pay, he can't say, oh, I can't reach you. He's like, you just got to play the fool game with the fool.
Yeah. And sometimes you do. Like you have to give people enough rope for them to hang themselves. Like don't show your hand. None of that. Oh, okay. What are you saying? Oh, okay. And then when you go to court, it's a different story. Oh, well, Your Honor, he was telling me all of these things, and that was not true because of this. So yeah, that's absolutely like, the smart thing to do. You have to give people enough rope sometimes for them.
But it's hard. Like as a woman, it's hard. Like, man, I want
to go emotional. Run me my money.
Bro, like like as a chick, you want to say something. But like that's one thing about being a woman, especially probably even on the investor side, like you have to keep your emotions in check. Like you have to. It's hard. Like it's plenty times I done went in my car and just cried or cried myself to sleep. But and then I'll come back on the site, like I'll go in the car and cry and come back on the site like nothing happened. But you gotta do that. You gotta let it out.
Yeah. I love that because, sometimes we are emotional, and I mean, rightfully so, because if you feel like somebody's talking down to you or taking advantage of you and you're giving your all and you're doing just as much as a dude, for them to do that is disrespectful. You're not deserving of it. Yeah. And it's like, you have to like get that out. So don't think like, okay, well, you can't cry and all of that. Like if you got to cry, go outside. Wipe your face, come back. Oh, I just needed a soda.
Right, hey, a little me moment. Or sometimes you got to snap on him. Like, once he said he was talking to me crazy. He hung up on me. Then he called me back. I was like, I'm sorry. Are we fucking? Like, I'm sorry. I didn't know we woke up together this morning.
Because that's the only person that can, even get a little bit of leeway to talk to me the way that you try to talk to me.
Thank you. I was like, my name is Asia. This I don't know what your wife or girlfriend or mistress name is, but it definitely is not Asia. Or your daughter, niece, whatever, auntie. So how you talk to them is not how you about to talk to me. And after that, we ain't had no more problems.
Amen.
Because it kind of shocked them.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't expecting for you to, kind of stick up for yourself and to check him on that.
All the time.
Yeah. A lot of men, they'll go as far as you allow them to. And so you have to like put them in check. Like, no, this is how this is going to work.
Yep. But all my other subs, like my main subs, them like my big brothers, so they be having my back. These like former street dudes, so they have my back.
So let's talk about that, because I know a big fear for a lot of women is like dealing with contractors. Contractors can ruin your life as an investor. They can cost you money. They can waste time. They can ruin your reputation. So what are some things that, you would say people should look for, identify when, trying to book a reputable and a solid contractor for their deals?
I'll try to hire people that, well, since I'm a GC, it's a little different, but if I wasn't a GC, I would try to hire somebody who doesn't do the work themselves
Yeah.
and they got a team so they can delegate, because if it's nothing wrong with doing the work yourself, but if you're trying to run a business and do the work, it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm out getting us contracts, doing estimates, going to get materials, whatever. So y'all just got to come over here and work, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my subs because that's all they want to do. They just want to work, and that's how I really became a GC, because I wanted to fill that gap. It's too much work out here for everybody. You're not on your paperwork. Paperwork is how I get a lot of my contracts, because people don't want to fill out paperwork,
True.
or they not licensed. They don't have insured or
Right.
insurance stuff. It's like the little stuff. Like I'm on with a bank right now who got 100 houses in the pipeline. My house is number 27, and I'm rehabbing for them. And they only got like 5 or 6 contractors because nobody has a license.
Wow, that's very true. It's very,
Because,
very, very true.
but then on the flip side, us black people want to complain like, "Why I don't never see none of us on these sites? Because we ain't got our stuff together."
Right. Very true. Very true.
But other than that, I would say one, make sure you have everything in writing. Writing is the king of this. Like it could be a text message, an email, something, whatever y'all supposed to do on this job, have it in writing. I pay my subs that's been with me since the beginning, half up front, half at the end, or 100% up front, because we got that type of relationship.
Yep.
And going forward, I'm not doing that with new people no more. So I do 10% up front.
Yep.
And then after you work a little more, I might do 20, 30, 20,
Yep.
30, and then always hold 10 to 20 at the end. So if you want to run off with 10%, that might just be $1,000 or something like
Right.
that.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing. If you can, go see their work. Like if they working somewhere, go over there and look at their work. I mean,
Yep.
pictures are great, but
You need
going
to
over
see
there,
it.
yeah, going over there, be able to touch that wall so I can make sure that mud is smooth as a baby's bottom, that make a difference in a picture. So those would probably be my top tips.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I love that. I love definitely like visiting their job site and seeing, their quality up front. Definitely like progress payments. Like don't pay anybody all up front. Like they get that payment during milestone. And I mean, even people that I've
Yep.
worked with a lot, like I've been taking advantage of people that like, I've paid lots of money because they get used to it or they had a sense of entitlement. Like, okay, I know it's coming. Like, no, no, no. I'm good on
Back
that.
up.
Different for you because you a GC.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
see, the thing is, I have clients who try to give me 100% up front, and I give them their money back. Like, no, like you gonna follow my payment schedule. It
Yeah.
protects you, and it
Yeah.
protects me. And
Absolutely.
I respect that. Now, clients I've been rocking with for a minute, they give me 100%. Now, at this point, if you give me all the money up front, your job just got pushed to the front.
Yeah.
So everybody else is, you're on hold. Sorry. So now that they know that, people do that. Now they give me the whole thing up front.
Yeah. And I mean, they have that relationship with you and you care about your reputation. There are a lot of
Right.
contractors out there that are very different. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But dealing with some clients, like especially homeowners, if I get a bad buyer from you, I won't even take the job. I could
Oh,
be broke in the mug.
yeah.
Like I looked at a house a couple weeks ago, and the wife, she was getting on my last nerves. I told
Yeah.
her, I was like, if you are getting on my nerves this much, and we just walking through this house for the estimate, I
Yeah.
could imagine how you gonna be if I'm over here rehabbing it. So for
Yeah.
that, here's your estimate feedback. Have a great day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and it's true. A lot of people, they chase money and they chase opportunities and they're like, okay, I can deal with it. But the same thing is true for renters. Like if I see you
Oh
and
yeah.
it's like a headache up front, like I'm good. You're not gonna call me every week about, something crazy. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not like something really needs to be wrong. Like you can't nitpick. I don't. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I had to tell one of my tenants, we're not friends.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
not friends. This is a tenant landlord. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep. I feel you. I definitely feel you with that.
But I had to tell that to clients too. They be want, especially the guy clients. I don't know why. I guess 'cause I'm a girl, but they just be want to call me and talk to me about
Everything.
everything. I'm like, sir, I know you paid me 50 grand to do your house, but you did not pay me to be your counselor. So I want to get off the phone. But sometimes I do listen because it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
But some of them when they be doing too much.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what's your favorite book or resource for real estate?
YouTube is an amazing free tool.
Mm.
The best book I read, but I need to reread it now because I'm a little more mature in my business, is the 4 Hour Work Week. Like
Yeah,
I read it and then I listened to the audio on YouTube too, but I said I pulled it back out this year because I said I'm going to reread it
yeah,
because now I'm mentally, mature as
got
far as my business to really understand what I was reading, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
yep,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I was like, I'm gonna definitely read that again. And I read The Miracle Morning. And for somebody who loves naps and hates mornings, that book really helped. I need to reread it again because now I'm slacking on getting up in the morning.
What is it about? Just helping you get up in the morning?
Well, it's about a guy. I remember he got into like a bad car accident and he was like really, really down on his luck and stuff. And then he became like a bazillionaire over time. And
Mm,
he always talk about getting up in the morning, like before everybody else, because you more fresh, you're more awake.
very,
You can like kind of knock out all your emails without people responding and then like
very,
throwing you off. It
yeah,
was just little stuff like that. So I started working out in the morning when I first read that. That was like 2, 3 years ago. And it made a huge difference because I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like I done got up, I done worked out,
yeah.
is already over with, and now I got the whole day compared to when me and you get off this call. I know I need to work out, but I'm probably not going to do it
Right, because you're exhausted.
because
Yeah.
now it's late, it's the end of the day, and I'm like, yeah. So I'm probably going to read, but it was a good book. It's a quick little read. I don't think it's 150 pages.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. I love that. So let's talk about some sacrifices that you have made. This conference really highlights our spending habits and the things that we as women think are important. And a lot of people will spend money on clothes and on shoes and bags and vanity things and
I
cars.
can't.
Yeah, things that depreciate. So what are some sacrifices that you've made to become an investor?
Being broke for the longer picture, for the bigger picture.
Yeah,
Like I could spend Home Depot. I could spend 10 grand in there a day, quick.
yeah.
Like wow, I just swiped $10,000. Oh Jesus. But you know what I'm saying? But it happens. So that's a sacrifice. Like you broke now for the reward later.
Yeah.
So like I lost my home to foreclosure, which was actually the biggest blessing that ever happened to me because I was able to move back home with my mom. I
Yeah.
was able to start buying rentals. That's when my business really I could focus more because I'm like, well, I'm at home. My
Yeah.
mom like, don't worry about nothing, just do your thing. And
Yeah.
now she's reversed. So now she's my dependent. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she's claimed on my taxes now. So that worked out because when I lost, I was there like a year and a half. But this was at the height of the foreclosure crisis.
Yeah.
So it was foreclosures all over Detroit. So I stayed there almost 2 years and paid nothing.
Wow.
And then they gave me
Wow.
like then they gave me 3 grand and not mess the house up because that's what people was doing. They'll like rip out all the pipes.
Wow.
They'll take the cabinets, the sinks, the furnace, hot
Yeah.
water tank, or
Yeah.
they'll leave the water running in the dead of winter so it'll be like a sheet of ice. I'm
Oh
like, I ain't
my
about to do all that.
gosh.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was bad. Another sacrifice I would have to say before I built business credit. Once my credit got back straight after the short sale on my house, because it dipped when you stop paying and stuff,
Yes.
was using my personal credit to fund stuff
Okay.
because I didn't care. I'm like, well, I'm 30 whatever at this time. In 7 years, I'll be 30 whatever, and it'll drop off
Yeah. Yeah.
if it don't work out.
Wow. Wow. Um, so, for a lot of people that are, scared of risk or, are just like, I don't know if I could have survived, foreclosure or, being broke and all these other things, that might seem like it's difficult, but when you have a different mindset about, kind of like building wealth and when you
Right.
kind of hit rock bottom,
You ain't got no choice.
right. There's nowhere else to go. It's just like, okay, I know I won't be homeless because I can live with my mom. Like now I can really go for broke.
Right.
Now I can do some things, that are really going to allow me to be free long term. And if that requires, like me being broke an extra 2, 3, 4 years, like I'm going to do that in order to live out the rest of my life on my own terms.
Exactly. Cause
Yeah.
like when I was broke, like I was depressed for probably like a month, and then I thought I was like, man, forget this, Asia. Like you have to just go hard. If this don't, my whole thing was this: if this don't work, I got an engineering degree. I could always go back and get a job.
Yep.
Cause I had lost my job. The lady I was an engineer for, I was a highway engineer inspector for a couple of years. So I made really good money from like April to November. That's the only time I worked, and
Wow.
then I would save enough money to make it through to the next summer or spring.
Yeah.
And then the money I saved up only lasted like a year and a half. So it was like all right, Asia, you done paid your mortgage. Is either miss this mortgage payment or use this last 3-4 grand you got and go get your license. I want to get my license. That's the best blessing that ever happened to me.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't have no regrets. Like I be telling people, man, when that crisis was, I was telling people, F that mortgage. Like they not gonna put you out because it's 100,000 other people ahead of you. For
Right.
one, they don't want you to mess up the house because if you
Right.
leave, it's gonna get messed up by you or somebody else.
Yeah.
And or don't pay that mortgage and save up and buy the house across the street. I told a lot of people to do that, and they did it because that's your house was. Let's say you underwater 150 grand. The house across the street was $12,000. So if
Wow.
you put your mortgage up for a year, you can go buy that house.
Wow. Wow.
Like, it was
Wow.
bad here. I bought houses for $500, $600 and just resold the deed. So like instead of wholesaling the house, I would just flip the deed. Like I
Yeah.
did that a lot. So I
Yeah.
would buy $500 houses and sell them for $5 grand, $10 grand. And the way I would market it to people is the taxes that's owed on this deed is still cheaper than what you would pay somebody for rent.
Yeah.
Because all you got to do is go to the county office and get put on the tax payment plan. That might be $350 a month.
Wow. Yeah. I love that. I love like the ingenuity and just thinking about that. I love the fact that you actually did the math and did the calculations because a lot of times, just like you said, we don't like paperwork. We don't like doing the numbers either. Or we
Mm-hmm.
feel like, okay, well, there's something crooked about it or, whatever else. Like, no, that's the way of the world.
Oh no, I'm math is my thing. I'm an engineering major, so
Yeah.
my sub, like the one I'm about to sue, he was like, "Well, how I know that this what you spent overseas?" I'm like, "No problem. I track every single dime that goes into my account. Like
Let
I
me
have
just
a
open up this Excel spreadsheet for
where
you.
is it at? I
Yeah.
don't even have a spreadsheet. I'm still old school with. I got a black and white composition notebook. So look, at the top of the page, it has the address to the property, the
Mm-hmm.
total project bid, change orders, everything like right there, right? I got a
Yeah.
column that say labor. I got a column that say materials. So every time I pay you, I write it down, how much I owe, the check number, the date you cash it, and then I download the actual cash check to my laptop because with PNC after 6 months they charge you to go back and find a check.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
I write down every single material I done bought, what got returned. So at the end, I know what my profit was and
Yeah.
where I lost it and what I know. If you're not keeping, they always say how you budget your personal finance, how you gonna budget your business. That's
Yeah.
exactly how I budget my personal finance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just brought that into the business. And like when I was on the highway, I was basically an overpaid babysitter. So every day we had to write like inspector, it was called IDRs, inspector daily report. So we had to write the weather, how many people was on site, the equipment they was in, and all that. So like if it was at the end of the contract, if it was too many rain days and they trying to get credit for it, they could look at my notes and say, you a lie, it only rained these amount of days. We're
Yeah.
penalizing you, liquidated damages, blah, blah, blah. So all that I learned on the highway, I just brought into my business.
Right.
So when I sent him this email with 1,000 receipts on Google Drive, man, I ain't hear from him no more.
Right. He not
Cause
gonna say nothing.
he didn't
You
think I
go
had them.
sit through, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't think I had them. I'm like, dude, I done paid you over $60,000. You talking about you can't finish? I think
You
not.
gonna finish this job.
Or not, I'm gonna see you in court. See, and the thing in Detroit, everybody know I sue. Everybody know Asia sue. Everybody know they was like, if you gonna sign up with Asia as a sub, you filling out sub liability waivers, which means if you don't want to wear your hard hat and a hammer fall on your head, you not suing me, my company,
Right.
or that homeowner.
Right. Right.
Cause dudes, they don't want to wear their safety gear.
I believe it. I believe it. Like you won't be coming after me, sir.
Yep, you signing that. You filling out a W-9 form because yes, I'm 1099 you at the end of the year. You're
Yep.
filling out this 10-page subcontractor agreement contract. If you don't read it, that's not my fault.
Oh, done
Like,
deal. You signed it.
yep, you signing all this stuff. And then if you don't perform, I'm suing you. Period.
Right. Done deal. I
Yep.
love it. I love it. And I think it's super smart to absolutely
Thank you.
protect yourself. Yeah, to protect yourself like you have to out here because people are crazy.
But see, that's why I went to grad school. I went to grad school and got my master's in construction management just to learn the business side of construction.
You
That's the only
better
reason I
go,
went.
Asia.
That's the only reason I went because if we don't know it,
Yeah.
we don't know it. And then my teacher, he was a big GC, and then I went on rocketlawyer.com. A lot of people sleep on that site. It's technically free. You got to put in your credit card information and cancel before the 7-day trial.
Yeah.
Look,
Got all my agreements before the 7 days was over.
Look, I told you I was broke when I started, okay? So I went in there, I downloaded rental agreements, last will and testaments. What else? Testament. What else I download? Power of attorney letters. Uh, the contract that I use in my company I got from there, and then what I learned in grad school, I just added to it.
Yep.
And then made it bigger.
I love it. I
But
do.
rocket lawyer is the jump.
Yep. That's how you have to do it, like just straight from the muscle, all hustle, and yeah, and just kind of like pull yourself up. That's real bootstrapping. That's really getting it done and kind of like growing your business. And for a lot of people, they allow like, oh, the fear of the unknown, and no, I'm not ready. Like that's the difference between
Girl,
people that are really
I sold so much. When I was broke, I sold so much stuff on eBay. I was selling everything, my Jordans or whatever, shoes, Tims. Like, man, I was like, I'm gonna make this happen. I was putting everything. Everybody know I could sell fish to another fish.
No water to a well. Okay. Yep. Okay. So, I mean, I love that. Thank you for being real, because a lot of people, like, they sleep on how hard it is sometimes. Like, when you find yourself in a low place, in a broke place, like, these are the things that make the difference between you, like, really kind of like building wealth in that space versus like you still being stuck in that space. You could have said, okay, well, like, I'll go work at Target, or I'll go do this, I'll go do that. And
if I had to, I would have went back to Burger King. I worked there in high school. I was like, it can't be that hard still. Yeah. Like, I got bills to pay. I mean, I'd be in there with an attitude, but I'd be there.
Do what you gotta do. Right. But I mean, it just took something for you to like figure out, like, okay, I could pay my mortgage, or, I can invest in myself in order to, kind of make all the money that you've made since that time and build, your brand up from that. And I think that just takes a lot of guts.
Yeah, because a lot of people ask me all the time, like, well, how did you build your team? And I be myself, like, I don't know how long you've been following me, but I'm me, potty mouth the whole nine. And I made a lot of money that way, because clients be like, you real, you being yourself, you being honest. So I tell people all the time, like, be yourself. Whoever you are, be true to yourself. And then other like-minded people, like you found me, we like-minded, Hoodie Steaks found me, Erica the Classy Combat, Charm City, I'm forgetting somebody, Kendra, Kiera, and them, and Nita. We all, like, I never met them. We all went on vacation last year. We all met off Instagram.
I know, y'all better take me here.
Like, so, like, Rayshana Scott, like, we all met, because we're all like-minded, and we all being ourselves, and we just found each other all through social media.
I love it.
So I'm like, you can build you a great team. It's going to take a minute. You're going to get burned here and there, but just keep doing you and don't give up. And like, this my 6 year full time, because the last time I worked was summer 2013.
Wow.
So, I mean, and they always say that 5th year is when you pop. That 5th year is when I did my flip last year. That's when like my name really started getting out there. I'm in like a lot of articles over the time. Like, a white radio station hit me up to do an interview about my event in Brooklyn.
Wow.
So that put me like in front of a whole nother audience that I mean, I ain't gonna say I never would have reached, but who knows when that would have happened.
Right.
So I just tell people, just be yourself.
Right. That's the truth. And a lot of people think that they have to, put on airs and be different and, just learn a different lingo. Like, honestly, you just have to start and build up your knowledge along the way. That's it. That's all there is.
I'm a nerd. I'm always in the book. I'm always reading. I'm always in the newspaper. Like, I'm always reading different articles. Like, I'm always reading, like, look how me and you dressed right now. We chilling. I just got my hair did, my hair wrapped up.
Yeah. Because it's real. Like, I wouldn't. I'm not going to a job site every day in a full face of makeup. And
girl, no, they ain't gonna take you serious.
No, they won't. They won't.
Because then they're gonna be trying to flirt with you and stuff. Like, I'm not here for that.
Right. Or take advantage of you, or kind of judge you, like, oh, okay, she's one of those types of women.
Right, like with that sub situation, I had to jump in there and help. That's why I went to carpentry school. So if it ever got to, I went to carpentry school for 2 reasons. One, so when I hire subs, I can make sure what they're doing is right, and if it's not right, I can stop it before it get too bad.
Right.
And then the other reason was, if I have to fire somebody, I can jump in and do something. Maybe not everything, but I can do something.
Yeah.
So that definitely makes a difference. And not like home. I tell a lot of people, they sleep on Home Depot. They have free classes, like learn how to tile. I'm like, take them. And then if it take you in there doing your first flip, trial and error, and you in there doing the work, so what?
Yeah, yeah. And, too, I think there's something to be said for like doing what you can do. Like, even if that's on your first project and you're painting and you're learning, how to do certain things and you're in there cleaning and you're fixing things, like just start where you are and build that knowledge after the
Yeah.
because you'll be so much more invested
Mm-hmm.
in the
And then
process.
as you hire people, you know what's going on. You know how many, especially women, a lot of women investors call me because they done got played for them saying because they don't know what the hell going on in the house.
Yep.
They
They
don't
don't
know
know what it's
nothing.
supposed to look like. Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, and this one girl, I remember I stayed at her house 3 hours just walking her through because I felt so bad. She didn't hire me or whatever, but I didn't care. I just felt bad for her. I'm like, the plumbing, I was like, first of all, plumbing picks is supposed to be red and blue. Red is hot, blue is cold. They had, I mean, you can do all one color patchy because technically back in the day with copper, they was all one color. You couldn't tell, but I was like, just make your subs use red and blue so that way you know what's right.
Right.
And she's like, oh, okay. I was like, girl, you better YouTube stuff or DIY
Right.
network.
Right.
I just felt so bad for her.
Yeah, and that's very, very true. We recently had like some roof damage, and the guy was talking about, I forget what he said, but whatever it was, I just went online, I Googled it. I Googled, like average price range. I Googled what it's supposed to look like, all of those things. I made him go up on the roof and take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I knew exactly what was going on. And it's just like, you use what you need to
Right.
use what's at your disposal in order
Mm-hmm.
to make it right. And, so for me, that was enough for me to feel confident about what he said and go ahead. But if not, like I'm sending it to somebody like Asia, like someone else. And I'm like, hey, how true is this? What else should I be asking? Is this right? Is this the right thing to do?
Right.
But you just have to figure it out. You just have to figure it out.
Man, you know how many times like Nita and other people I'm cool with, they be like, girl, what is this person doing? They inbox me stuff or DM me. I'd be like, nope, that's not right. Make sure they do this, do that. I was like, or just
Yep.
YouTube it. But I'll fact check somebody in the middle of the conversation. I'll be up, hold up, let me Google that.
Yep.
Or I'll pull up on the site with a code book with a highlighter. Like,
Excuse
that's
me.
not in
This
the
right
code.
here.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
that's not there. Yeah.
That no,
Like
you missing something. Your spaces ain't 16 inch on center, bro.
that.
Or I'll go over there and check that mud with the tape because I used to be a highway inspector, so I'm putting on my inspector cap. I
Right.
always try to do more and above than what that inspector gonna ask me. So when they come, they gonna respect you a little better because you ain't wasting their time and they can just get
Right.
in and out.
Right. And they look at you differently every time they go to your job. It's kind of like, okay, well, I know this person has a track record of, getting
Yep.
it right. So I'm not
hmm
even concerned.
And if something do happen, they gonna give you a little more leeway because it's a respect thing. Like my inspector on this one house I'm finishing up, it was a chick and she was just so happy because she never seen another female GC. She's a GC too, but she can't work in Detroit because she inspects in Detroit.
Right.
But she was just so excited.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, so are you excited enough to pass me? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Right. Like, let's be real excited. Like, be real
Like,
happy.
how happy are you today?
Awesome. So how can people follow you and support you online?
My YouTube page is Denson Construction Services or YouTube channel. Facebook the same, Denson Construction Services, and the Detroit Property Shop. That's the one I kind of post wholesale deals and fix and flips on and stuff.
Ooh.
Instagram is the Detroit Property Shop and Denson Construct Serve. I'm almost at swipe up status. I'm almost at 10K.
Hey.
It took some years, but I'm almost there.
Awesome. So we're gonna make sure that we follow and that we support you. And then I know you have some goodies for everybody that's watching today.
Oh yes. I have a ebook called the Detroit Real Estate Yellow Pages. So you remember back in the day when we was kids, you get to get the big old thick yellow page book, and over time you probably put duct tape on it,
Yep.
sat on it for a car seat or what have you.
Yep.
I basically did a yellow pages on Detroit because people by the time they find me, they done got screwed. So I
Yeah.
just put in there like these are the brokers I use, these are the real estate agents I use, these are the property management companies you can use in Detroit that I personally have used or some of my clients have used that have had nothing but great experiences. Of
Wow.
course, I'm the only contractor because it's my book.
Yeah.
I